Dre all day.
Tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That's the go-getter energy that moves anyone out there to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. We put all this together in one bundle, one package, one mindset, one method, one philosophy, one show, this masterclass right here that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic, this may be a sombering topic for some of you, and for some of you it'll just be an objective reality check, but either way, the topic is the topic. The topic is, the game does not love you. The game, not your game, but the game does not love you. Now this class is a follow-up to masterclass number 1314, when I talked about how to play the game, how to be a hustler and learn to play the game in life. Play the game in quotation marks. Because sometimes in life you gotta do some things that you may not really want to do, or things that you otherwise would not do in order to achieve the outcome that you wish to achieve. Now, while you may think that that is immoral, or you may think that that's not right, why would I do something that I don't really want to do or I wouldn't do just to get a certain outcome? Everything's not about the outcome. It's not win at all costs. Why would you do that? It's because as a hustler, if you are a hustler understands that the bottom line in life is results. That's why I just told you a couple days ago that in life you are in what we all know as a results-based business. Masterclass number 1443. You're in a results-based business. I was taking a marketing course once, and I'm not talking about marketing like in school. I'm talking about a marketing course that I signed up for myself outside of school, my self-education. And the person who was teaching the course said this. He said, the market does not care about you. And when he said you, he wasn't saying me personally, but he was saying anyone who was taking his marketing course, as he was explaining, he's teaching how to market products and services. He explained, listen, the market doesn't care about you personally. It does not personally care about your product or your service or your offer or the bills that you need to pay or the size of your list. The market doesn't care about any of that. The only thing the market cares about is if you have something that they want at a price that they're willing to pay. That's the only thing the market cares about. And that led me to talking about all this stuff we're going to talk about here today. And it's because it's absolutely true. And it doesn't matter what market we're talking about. This could be the market for hiring school teachers, the market for landscapers, the market for basketball players, the market for girlfriends or boyfriends, the market for anything. The market itself, which is everyone in all their activity in aggregate, the market itself does not care about any one individual. Even though you may think that the market cares a lot about some individuals, the market does not care about any one individual. The only thing the market cares about is, can you deliver to the market what the market is asking for? And the market makes it clear specifically what it's asking for. All you got to do is look around at the market. You can see exactly what it's asking for. It's saying, all right, in basketball, we got people who are tall, athletic, who can dribble, shoot, pass, play defense, run the floor, have high basketball IQ, because those are the ones who keep getting selected. When you say, what's the market for, I don't know, what's another thing? Look at the industry that you're in. What's the market for that? What's the market for a good podcast? Engaging, entertaining. The person who runs it hopefully has a voice that's soothing enough, and not even soothing, that's not the best word, but something that's pleasant to listen to for whatever types of people. It's consistent in how they deliver. People know exactly what they're going to get. It's entertaining, it's informative, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, whatever it is, this, based on what the podcast is. What does the market say for, let's say, Instagram? That you have things that are visually appealing. That's the thing, what the market responds to. Visually appealing images and videos get more engagement on Instagram than things that are not visually appealing. That is what the market is asking for. It's not favoring any one individual. It does not have personal preferences. It does not play favorites or any of that. All the market does is respond to what the market wants. And that's what you need to understand about what you're doing in life. Doesn't matter what market you're in. It does not care about you personally or anyone else personally. What you should concern yourself with in whatever market you're in is, what does the market care about? That's the thing that you need to know. Whatever market you're in, you need to find out, or you need to remind yourself, if you've already found out, what does this market reward? In this market, who wins? The people who are winning, what are they doing? What do they have in common? How are they presenting themselves? How are they different from me? Or how am I different from them? That's what we're going to talk about today, because today we're going to talk about that in this class, because it's more like it's kind of like a stoic philosophy approach to doing what you do that will help you to both see the game you're in a little bit more dispassionately, and also to be more efficient in execution of the things that you do. So if you're interested in that, in getting a really clear, objective look at what the market really wants so that you can deliver the market what the market is asking for, which will in turn help you be more effective in executing and producing results in the thing that you do so that you can get the spoils of those results. If you're interested in that, keep listening. If you're not interested in that, you don't want to actually know exactly what you need to be doing, you don't want to produce actual results, you don't want to get a return on your investment, if you don't want any of those things, then turn this off. I'm sorry for taking up 5 minutes of your time. But everybody else, keep listening. Point number one. Today's topic is the game does not love you. Point number one, the game does not care about what you want. The game does not care about what you want. The game only cares about what the game wants. When you deliver what the game wants, you win. Simple example of this. Me being a former professional athlete who came from humble beginnings as a basketball player, many athletes, they'll come to me and they'll say something like, Dre, I want to play college ball. I want to get a scholarship. I want to get recruited. I want to play pro basketball. I want to get scouted. I need to find an agent. I want to go to an exposure camp. I want somebody to sign me to a contract. And then they go on, after they make that clear, they go on and they start selling themselves to me by telling me things like how much they love the game, how hard they work, all the things that they want for their life, how they want to take care of their family, take care of their parents, how they want to live out their dreams, how they want to fulfill their vision, and how the only thing they need is for someone to give them a chance, someone to give them an opportunity, someone to just take a chance on them and let them show what it is they can do. Now, I've told you many times, I've talked about this many times and used that example more than once. I told you, first of all, I personally don't want to hear that shit. Not because I don't care about you or I want to see you fail. It's because nobody cares about that. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Nobody wants to hear that. No agent wants to hear it. No coach wants to hear that. No scout wants to hear that. No AAU, no teammate. Nobody wants to hear this plea for, I just need an opportunity. I just need someone to take a chance on me. I work really hard. I got this skill. I can do that. Like, nobody wants to hear that shit. Why? Because none of that shit matters. It does not matter. You know what matters? You want to know what, just extending this example, what the basketball world wants? I'll tell you. My first basketball coach ever was this guy named Steve in my neighborhood of Mount Airy. And it was before he even named the whole basketball team. We were still doing practices / tryouts. And Steve, just one day, unprompted, he said this. He said, I know all of you, we were like 14 years old. He said, I know all of you are trying to figure out what you need to do to make my basketball team. So let me tell you what I'm looking for so everybody's clear on exactly what's going to get you on this team. And he just started going down a line of skills. He said, first of all, I need a ball handler, somebody who can run the point, who can get the ball from point A to point B with a live dribble without turning the ball over, get us into our offense and have us running our offense. He said, secondly, I need a scorer, somebody who can put the ball on the floor, create their own shot, create shots for themselves and for their teammates, and get us a bucket when we need it. Then I need a shooter, somebody who can spread the floor, get behind the three-point line and knock down open shots and force the defense to respect you, which will open up space for everybody else. Then I need a big man, somebody who can play down low with their back to the basket, score in the post, who can protect the paint, grab rebounds, and have a presence around the rim. Then I need somebody who will throw their body around, set picks, foul people, play physically, and not care about how many points they score, aka a garbage man. I need somebody who can play that role. Then I need somebody who can lock down on defense, someone who can identify the top scorer on the other team, no matter what position they play, guard that person and not let that person drop 30 on us, slow them down, which will help us win games because we need somebody who can lock up on defense. And I think he named a couple other roles, and he said, listen, anyone in this gym who can fulfill any of the roles that I just listed, you guarantee yourself a spot on this basketball team. Now, why am I telling you that? Because that's what the market wants. At that point, when you're trying out for a basketball team, for example, the market is the coach, because the coach is the one who decides who makes the basketball team. You're trying to get a job, the market is whomever is involved in that hiring decision. It might be one person, it might be 10 people. That's the market. If you're trying to get into an industry, the market is everyone who could potentially help you get your foot in the door of that industry. If you're trying to find a mate, the market is every eligible person who fits the description of what you're looking for. So it's not about what you want, it's about what the market wants. Once you identify what you want, such as, I want to be in the law industry, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to be on this person's basketball team, or I want to find a girl to date, or I want to find a guy to date. Now you've identified what you wanted. Now it's all about what they want. That market that you've identified, if you can deliver what they want, you guarantee yourself a spot. You guarantee that you're going to get the outcome that you want. Nobody cares about your love, your passion, how all the things that you can do, the skills that you're going to lay out, and all the things you say you're capable of. Nobody wants to hear that shit. That's not going to sell. Why? Because first of all, anybody can say that. If you can't prove it, nobody wants to hear you saying it. And if you can prove it, you don't need to talk about it. Secondly, the market decides who gets what. The game decides. Some of you may have heard the phrase, may be familiar with the phrase, don't hate the player, hate the game. All right, so don't be mad when you can't get the opportunity that you want, or you can't get your foot in the door, or nobody, quote unquote, nobody is giving you a chance, or no girl is interested in you, or no guy wants to date you. Don't be mad at any individual person when that's not happening. It's the market that you are not responding to. You're going out into the world, and this is what many people do, especially young people. They come out into the quote unquote real world, and all you're thinking about is what you want. You're thinking about your personal desires, but you have never considered what the market wants. And if you don't give the market what it wants, the market will not give you what you want. But if you give the market what it wants, the market will give you everything you want and more. So what you really need to start thinking about, actually, let me tell you first of all what you need to stop doing. You need to stop being so self-centered and narcissistic as to only be thinking about what you want, and start thinking about what the market wants. And again, the market is whomever has the power of choice to help you get the outcome that you desire. So it's your job to know who the market is. The market might be one person, might be 10 people, might be 1 million. But it's your job to know what the market is for what you want to do. If you want to do it, you should know the market, right? I mean, how long would it take you to figure that out? It wouldn't take you that long. And if you can't figure it out, consult your circle of friends. And if nobody in your circle of friends can help you figure it out, get new friends. Point number 2. Today's topic, the game does not love you. I want you to remember something. This is point number 2. You are in a performance and results-based business, which I just told you about in masterclass number 1443. They call it show business. Everybody's heard of show business, right? And what does show business mean? It means whomever has the best show gets the business. Whoever continues to put on the show keeps the business. And whoever fails to put on the show, or your show is under-delivering, you know what happens to you? You go out of business. Can relationships help you in show business? Of course they can. Masterclass number 1260, I told you about people skills to help improve your relationships immediately. You follow them, you'll have more and better relationships. In Masterclass 231, I told you about building relationships before you even need them. At the same time, however, relationships can only take you so far when your game isn't on point. And I just did a masterclass on that a few days ago. You got to be able to deliver results-based business. I talked about it there. If you're not producing results, your relationships can only take you but so far. And if you cannot produce results, you shouldn't put your relationships in a precarious position of having to either tell you no, or to blow you off, or to put themselves in a bad spot by recommending you knowing that you're not good enough to deliver for what they're recommending. In other words, if you know you're not that good of a player, don't go to somebody you know who can help you get on and ask them to put you on or put a good word in with a coach. Because then when they do it and put that good word in with the coach, and the coach finds out that you're trash, now they're going to be looking at your friend who connected you, and they're going to say, all right, why did you send me this bum ass player? I'm never listening to you again when you tell me when you recommend somebody. Now they've destroyed their relationships with that person, all because of you, because your ass didn't have any game. So relationships can help you in life. But if you can't perform, if you can't produce a result, if you're not good at putting on a show, if you suck when the lights come on, our relationships can't change that. Relationships can't save that. Actually, relationships can change it, but it can't save it. Change it by getting around somebody who will put a foot in your ass and force you to work on your fucking game. That's what a relationship can do. Or to just reflect back to you what is really going on in your game, because you don't think there's anything wrong with your game, but there's a lot of stuff wrong. A good relationship can let you know what's wrong with your game so you can go fix it so you won't have that same problem anymore. But a relationship cannot save the fact that you don't deliver. This is show business, ladies and gentlemen. You put on the show, you get the business. You have no show, or you are a no-show, no business. You see how that works? This show is called Work on Your Game for a reason. Because what we're doing here is a game. I'm talking about everything that we're doing. If you own a business, that's a game. You got a job, that's a game. You in school, you play a sport, that's a game. You're in a relationship, it's all a game. And when I say game, I don't mean it's like foreplay and it's not serious and it doesn't matter. When I say game, it means when I say a game, what that means is there are rules to the game. There are rules that must be respected. And you got to learn how to play by those rules. And you also got to learn, you got to develop the wisdom to know when to bend or break rules when you have the opportunity to get away with it. Now, some of you may think, oh, well, Dre, that's kind of harsh what you're saying there. Bend or break the rules? Like, what if everybody just bended and broke the rules, Dre? Then what would things be like? Well, they would be like how they are because people do bend and break rules, maybe just not that you know about. And maybe you have bended and broken some rules that you have conditioned yourself to forget about because all's well that ends well. In life, this is a game. Your career is a game, your sport's a game, everything that you're doing is a game. So you got to know the rules of the game. The reason why you need to know the rules so that when somebody is not following the rules, you can notice that they're not following the rules. You don't have to be the whistleblower. You ain't got to be the cop. But just notice that they're not following the rules. Notice how they're not following the rules. Notice when, where, and maybe figure out why they're not following the rules. Then see what you could take from what they're doing and use it for your own purposes. This is all part of the game. Now, you might think this to be a little bit immoral, a little bit Machiavellian. Well, guess what? The people who are winning, they do these things. You might not know about it, but they're doing it. And you can choose to abstain from the game if you wish. You will fall victim to the people who are playing. You can read the book, The 48 Laws of Power, for more on that. And that book goes deep into everything I just touched on there a moment ago. Also, anything by Niccolo Machiavelli, especially his book called The Prince, Niccolo Machiavelli, not Tupac Machiavelli, Machiavelli, the actual person that he named that off of. The game is kind of like a hungry dog. You know, it loves whoever is feeding it at the time. If you're feeding the game's going to love you. If you're not feeding the game's not going to love you. Point number 3. Today's topic is the game does not love you. It doesn't love you personally. Even when you're feeding the game doesn't love you personally. It just loves the fact that you're feeding it. Point number 3, stop taking everything personal. Masterclass number 1406 talked about how to care without caring. Why I'm saying to stop taking everything personal is because, as I already told you, you already know the subject of today's class. The game doesn't love you. The game also, since I already told you the game doesn't love you, the game doesn't hate you. The game has nothing against you personally. There's an old parable of, what animals was it? A couple sets of animals. I believe it was the sheep and the foxes. And the sheep had this gathering where they came to the conclusion, and everyone agreed how much they hated the foxes or the wolves. Might have been the wolves. How much the sheep hated the wolves or the foxes, maybe the wolves and the foxes. They hated them both. Why? Because wolves and foxes were always hunting down, killing, and eating sheep. So the sheep decided that they hated the wolves and foxes. They felt like there was a war going on between the wolves and the sheep. They were in a war with these animals, and they wanted to put an end to the war. They were trying to bring peace so that they could stop getting killed by all these wolves out there. So the sheep called a meeting. The head of the sheep was calling a meeting with the head of the wolves. And when the two met, the sheep said, listen, we're trying to put an end to all this violence. We're trying to put a cease to this. You know, we have nothing against you, wolves. We just want there to be peace so that we stop losing people, and, you know, whatever strife and strain is going on your side, we want you all to be relieved as well. And the wolf was very confused. The wolf looked at the sheep and said, hey, Mr. Sheep, us wolves and us foxes, we have no problem whatsoever with you sheep. As a matter of fact, you sheep are the most delicious tasting meal that we ever have on a day-to-day basis. I'm telling you that story. I'm out of the story now. I'm telling you that to tell you this. The game doesn't even know who you are. The game is just doing what the game does. The players come and the players go. All right, for the sheep rather, the sheep thought the wolves had a personal vendetta against them, which is why they kept killing them. But the wolves said, no, we just trying to live. We just playing the game. The game is we got to eat, and the sheep look like a meal. That's the game. Okay? So don't be the sheep who doesn't know what's going on. Understand the game. Doesn't mean you can change the game. You just got to understand it. The game is not personally against you in any way, shape, or form. So you got to learn how to do your job a bit more dispassionately, meaning not allowing your emotions to control your actions and your thoughts. Yes, care about the outcome. I'm not telling you not to care. Care about the outcome, but at the same time, don't get so emotional over the outcomes. Note the feedback that you're receiving, the data that you're receiving, and keep it moving. That's what the winners do. The winners don't take it personal when things aren't going their way based on the market. They understand that the market's going to do what the market does, and it has nothing personal against them. Note the feedback, track the data, keep it moving. If you miss a shot in a basketball game, don't get angry at yourself for missing the shot. Don't blame the rim, since the rim didn't move when you shot the ball. Ask yourself what may have caused you to miss the shot. Make your adjustments, then move on to the next shot or the next play. You can't get emotionally bogged down in the last outcome, whether it was positive or negative, because then you're going to miss the next thing that's going on. And then the game's going to overwhelm you, and you're going to fall behind, and then the game will forget you. Yes, care that you missed your shot, but don't allow the emotions of that outcome to slow you down, whether it was successful or unsuccessful. Just play the game, because the game is not against you. The game is not for you. The game is just the game. Let's recap today's topic, which is the game does not love you. This is a follow-up to masterclass number 1314, how to play the game for the hustlers out there. I was taking a marketing course, and a person in the course said, listen, the market doesn't care about anyone personally. All the market cares about is you delivering what the market is asking for, and it's 100% true. So it doesn't matter what market you're in, because the market isn't for or against any individual person. What you got to concern yourself with is what the market does care about. And that's what we're talking about here today, which is it kind of dovetails with a Stoic philosophy of approaching what you do in such a way that will help you to both see the game more dispassionately and at the same time be more efficient in the execution of what you do. Point number one, the game does not care about what you personally want. It only cares about what the game itself wants. When you deliver what the game wants, you win. Athletes come to me and they tell me about how hard they work and how much they love the game and all that. Listen, nobody cares about any of that. No coach or agent or teammate or scout or even me even cares about any of that. All the game cares about is, can you deliver what the game wants? So it's your job, whatever market you decide to get involved in, to understand what the game wants and then deliver what the game wants. When you're doing that, you'll get the results that you want. The game does not care about your feelings or your emotions or any of the things that you could say about yourself, because anybody could talk. All right, are you delivering what the game wants? You'll get what you want. My first coach said, I want a ball handler, a shooter, a scorer, a defender, a garbage man, a big man. Anybody who can play those roles is on the team. Everybody else, not so much. Point number two. Remember that you're in a performance and a results-based business. In show business, they say whoever has the best show wins the business. Can relationships help? Yes, of course. But at the same time, a relationship cannot save the fact that you fail to deliver. The show is called Work on Your Game for a reason, because what we're doing here is a game. You learn the rules of the game, respect the rules of the game, play by the rules of the game, know when to bend or break the rules of the game, because everybody's doing it. Maybe you know about it, maybe you don't. But if you want to get an outcome, you got to learn how to hustle. And sometimes the hustle means bending or breaking or stepping outside of the lines of the rules, again, within reason. Not the law, but the rules. Two different things. Point number three, stop taking everything personally. Masterclass number 1406 talked about how to care without caring, doing your job a bit more dispassionately. So care about the outcome, of course, but don't get so emotional over the outcome. Note the feedback, track the data, and keep it moving. If you miss a shot in the game, don't get angry at yourself because you missed. Don't blame the rim since the rim didn't move. Make your adjustments and then move on to the next play. You care that you missed or care that you made it, but do not allow the emotions of the outcome to slow you down. Keep playing the game. Work on your game. Dre, all